this episode, I'm with Chris Record, the GOAT of entrepreneur rap videos.
At the end of the day, people are always trading time for money. At a job, trading time for money. In a business, trading even more time for money. But what about trading money for time? What about buying back time and then doing the things you really want to do, like rap videos and stuff like that? I mean,
yeah, you know what it is. E-com power sellers do it big. Yeah, sky is the limit. I'm haters that keep saying it's impossible. All I know is that we gotta go level up our lifestyle if we love the game. I'ma stay focused. These haters keep trying, but I'm making money online. Slave to your debt, they don't do it like my click funnels, click. And all these bad marketers, they want the leads, they want the leads.
Everyone wants to be great, but only few actually get there. And I'm on a mission to find out what all the greatest have in common. I've traveled tirelessly to find, sit down, and talk with GOATs, people that are arguably the greatest of all time at what they do. Sales, marketing, advertising, business, podcasts, branding, you name it. The way they do things may be different, but they all seem to see the world the same way. To them, success is not only achievable, but inevitable. And we'll get inside their heads as they share their expertise with me each week. My name's Mike Arce, and this is The GOAT Show. This episode is sponsored by Agency G.O.A.T. Starting a digital agency was definitely one of the best decisions I've ever made. Building it, however, was a lot more challenging than expected. I always wish someone just gave me a roadmap that I could follow and let me be a fly on the wall at a successful agency so I could just see how it's all done. Agency G.O.A.T. allows you to do just that. Stop playing small and visit agencyGSD.com to learn how to help hundreds of clients get it to 7 figures and be extremely profitable along the way. Again, go to agencyGSD.com. And I also have to share my experience with ClickFunnels. If you've been living under a rock and haven't heard of them, they're hands down the #1 platform for building landing pages and marketing funnels. I've been using them since 2015, and it's so crazy how easily my team and I create landing pages using their proven templates and easy drag and drop system. Without any design or coding experience whatsoever, we've been able to create hundreds of landing pages within minutes that look great and close sales better than anything we've used in the past. They're great for webinar funnels, sales funnels, demos, squeeze pages, you name it. I can't even imagine my business doing as well without them. And actually right now, they're offering a free 14-day trial if you go to clickfunnelspromo.com. So I definitely recommend you guys take advantage of that 14-day trial. It's free for 14 days and you can get it at clickfunnelspromo.com. Hello everybody, I'm Mike Arce and welcome back to another episode of The GOAT Show, where we interview people that are arguably the greatest of all time at what they do. And today, I'm here with Chris Record, the GOAT of entrepreneur rap videos. Chris, welcome to the show.
What's up? What's up? Glad to be here.
Now we're in an awesome, this is your place.
Yeah, thank you.
We're in your, like, where you live every single day, right here on the Strip in Vegas.
Yeah.
I've known about you now for about a year. I think the very first thing that I saw was the ClickFunnels video.
Yeah,
I think that's the first.
The ClickFunnels rap.
Yeah, and I made the connection because I saw pictures of you online or random stuff with the orange hat. Like that's your thing. You wear the orange hat everywhere, right? and your whole house, you got like orange couches, you got orange coffee makers.
That's the biggest orange couch I could find.
You found it, dude. I don't know. I think it's the only orange couch. So, you know, you've done a good job with the branding, and then. Man, the ClickFunnels rap was great. You just put out more and more content. Your views get hundreds of thousands of views to it. So let's talk about orange.
Okay, orange.
Why is orange such a big part of your life? Okay,
so this is actually an accident. It all happened on accident. Back in like 2013, maybe something like that. From like 2010 to 2013, I avoided cameras. I avoided videos. I avoided everything. And here's why. I actually went through a self-esteem phase where I had very low self-esteem about the way that I looked. And primarily because I had gained around 40 or 50 pounds. So I put on some extra weight and I really did not like the way that I looked. I did not feel comfortable. I never wanted to be seen on camera. And then what I did was I finally like kind of got in shape really quick and I lost some weight and I looked really good. And I had my friend Peter take a picture of me at a golf course, and it was a good picture. That day, I happened to be wearing an orange hat. It was like an orange surfer hat. I never wore an orange hat after that. I never wore an orange hat before that. I just happened to be wearing an orange hat, and that picture was good. So I used that picture on all my social media. I used it in all my advertising. But the problem was I quickly ballooned back up and gained about 40 pounds again right after that. So it's this nice little dip where I was in good shape and I felt good and confident about myself. So I used that picture for years. I ran all my social media had it, all my Facebook advertising had it, everything had it. And I was using it in all my marketing, and my marketing was being seen by millions and millions of people with my ads. And so eventually what happened was I went to a conference and I was speaking there, but nobody recognized me. Walking through a sea of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, actually maybe thousands of people, no one recognized me. Then the next day, I happened to have that orange hat, not on purpose. I wore that orange hat, and I was getting stopped by everybody saying, I know you from somewhere. You look so familiar. Where do I know you? You're from Facebook, right? I see you all the time. And it was just an orange hat. So immediately after that conference, I kid you not, I went online to search for orange hats, and I bought like 20 or 30 orange hats of all different kinds. And I started wearing an orange hat like every single day after that, and it exploded my brand. And I started realizing, look, in order to do business with people, they need to know you, like you, and trust you. That's really the core, the KLT factor, the core of that. But how can they get to know you? Become familiar to them, right? You've got to be familiar. That's why brands are constantly putting their brand name out there. Be familiar. So a color like orange helps me stand out in a world where not a lot of people wear orange, and people become familiar with me. The moment that I wear a different color hat, it's something new for them that they got to learn to see if they like it or not. So that familiarity and branding has made I would say that has made, generated millions of dollars. There's no definitive way to say that orange hat does it, but I'm pretty sure millions of dollars I could equate just having a good brand with a good color. And I think it's something anybody could duplicate, even though this happened on accident.
It's so much a part of you that we were just watching a music video that you had done, and you weren't wearing the hat because you was like you were waking up in the scene, right? And I didn't know who it was. I was like, "Who's that?" And you go, "That's actually me. I just don't have the hat on."
Yeah, there was a picture of a song called "Miracle Morning" on YouTube. It's called the Miracle Morning Rap. And I wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. and I try to go like bedhead and scroungy, the way you actually really wake up.
Right.
And you're going, "Who's that guy?"
Right.
Well, that's just what I look like without an orange hat, right? So, and then last night, I didn't want to stay very long at the 10X conference. So I actually went and I wore a gray hat instead of an orange hat, just so that I wouldn't have to have so many people bombard me. And it worked. I was able to go through crowds and everything, just as simple as a gray hat. And then what would happen, I had fun. I went up to a couple people I know very, very well, and I would just put my hand around them like this, right around their shoulders. And one of the guys actually brushed my hand away from me and said, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Wait, Chris Record, oh my God." And these are people I know very, very well. Wow. That's the power of branding. Right. And I think that it's something, I think, this whole entire interview could just be around branding. It is so important. It doesn't mean you have to wear something a certain way, but you look like, here we are in Vegas, look at the billboard, Carrot Top, that orange hair, right? People stand out for something. And so the sooner you and your business can figure out how to stand out in a world where there's so much just noise, how can you stand out? And a good brand and consistency is a really great way to do that.
So I don't know if you guys are watching or listening, but if you're watching, this is a good episode for you to stay on and watch. If you're listening, just know that there's going to be some visual advantages to tuning into the actual video on this one as well, because we're going to be showing some clips of Chris's videos and what he's done, because he's taken this massive action, which is great, branded himself. But if you remember that initially afraid to be on camera, total insecurity with that stuff, to now you are the star of your videos, right? Now, obviously the message is the star, but you're the character. Everyone's seeing you basically delivering the message throughout the video.
And it's also way outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah, extremely out, right? And we actually just did a rap, which if it's okay with you, maybe give us a little.
It's okay.
I would love to do the autism one maybe a little later. That'd be cool. Okay, awesome. All right, let's take it back. Where'd you grow up?
Santa Cruz, California. Really all over the Bay Area in Northern California.
Okay.
I'll share with you one little quick funny story, a little fun fact for people about me. So my parents were hippies. And when I mean hippies, I mean like legit hippies.
The real deals.
Oh yeah, they were living in the mountains, growing their own food. My dad was a sprout farmer, and they lived in a teepee.
And so you lived in a teepee.
I didn't just live in a teepee. My mom gave birth to me in that teepee. I was born in a teepee. I kid you not. I legitimately was born in a teepee. My mom and my dad were the only ones there. My dad delivered me, and my dad is afraid of blood, so he just kept passing out the whole time. So my mom essentially delivered me all herself. And my parents were so hippie that the name that I have now, Chris, which is short for Christopher, that is not the name that I was given at birth, right? The name that I was given at birth, my dad pulled me out. It was like 5 a.m. in the morning, and he pulled me out and he's holding me up thinking of an Indian name. You know, like an Indian, you kind of like look at the things that you see and you name somebody. So right off the bat, the sun was rising, so he thought sun, and he's looking for another word to combine it. And these baby falcons were born in a tree right next to us, so he called me Sun Falcon. And for the first few years of my life, my name was Sun Falcon, not Chris Record.
Hold on. So
you can actually Google
what
it.
year did you turn to Chris? How old were you?
I don't remember exactly, but it was a year or two or something like that. So my parents.
Okay, so you don't remember being called Sun Falcon.
I was too young. I don't. Well, my brothers still
like,
call me Sun Falcon.
Okay, but do you remember people saying like Sun Falcon, Sun?
No, when I was a young kid, all my parents' friends would, but I basically adapted the name Chris. I think they needed proof of my existence, you know, because I was just born in the mountains. So I think, you know, I wasn't born in a hospital, no birth certificate, no nothing like that. So I think at some point they needed proof that I actually existed for something, maybe to get, you know, to travel. And so they went and they got me not a birth certificate, but a baptismal certificate, which is like an alternative that you can do. They weren't even religious, but they just found a little church and said, can you give him a certificate that he was born? Yeah, and so they like thought of the name, my full name, which is Christopher Robinson Record, right there, instead of Sun Falcon. I think maybe they thought it would just be a better decision. Maybe they thought, I have no idea why they did or why they didn't, right? What I love about it is that there might be things, for people watching especially, there might be things in our lives that we're super embarrassed of. Like I avoided the camera for several years because I was embarrassed of my weight, and I was embarrassed of crooked teeth. I didn't smile either. If you go back and look at all my pictures, closed mouth smiles for about 5-6 years.
Really?
Because I was embarrassed of my crooked teeth. And I don't know what people can relate to. Weight, teeth, smiling, imperfections, blemishes. You know, we're just so afraid we're going to make a fool of ourselves that it stops us from our greatness. And I mean, if it can happen to somebody like me, then I know it can happen to everybody. And I just feel like if there's one thing that we can do in our life, it's just to accept who we are and be authentic. And what's cool about modern times, like right now, is people are being accepted. You know what I'm saying? People are being accepted for whatever they do. You know, whatever if they want to have tattoos all over their body, they're being accepted. If they want to if they have a different gender preference than you do, how they believe that their body should be, they're being accepted. If they like somebody, you know, that's their same gender, they're being accepted for that. If somebody even like certain types of, you know, the bad people that were like the druggies and stuff like that, now it's like there's a heart for people, and if either to help them or just to accept that that's where they're at in their life. Like things are so different. Acceptance is so strong that I believe that if more people just learn to just embrace their true self, I think then they'll shed that outer layer that's preventing them from greatness, and they'll actually be able to shine. I believe there's so many legends that are out there that could be made in the next couple of years if they're willing to shed those outside layers of everything holding them back and just give life a shot. And the fear of being rejected and the fear of being, you know, ridiculed or made fun of or hated on, let go of it. Every single person will tell you that it was all in their mind. We are all so worried about what other people think of us. We just shouldn't be. We should just let it go, take massive action, and do something great with our lives.
Now you overcame it, which is great, right? Now you're doing all your stuff, and but there's people that haven't overcome it yet. There's people that are listening right now and going, I kind of feel like that's holding me back, right? So sometimes the best way to kind of put stuff together is to find out like why is it apart in the first place? So why do you think you were dealing with that? What do you think there was anything that happened along the way, or what kind of started building up that insecurity?
Oh, sure. I mean, like my life in general. So when I was when my parents got divorced at an early age, I started going back and forth between the two.
How old are you?
I think I was 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there. And when they got divorced, I started living with my mom a lot. My mom was on welfare. She was on Section 8. She was on food stamps. We lived in low-income neighborhoods. The kids that I was hanging out with were also generally raised by a single mom on Section 8 and welfare, and they were actually like really bad kids. The association I started having at a young age, especially I remember starting right around age 11, was really, really bad. I started getting involved in drinking at a young age, 11, 12 years old, smoking weed, sneaking out of the house at night, very, very young, okay? I mean, I don't know what kids are doing these days, but that was like 11 and 12 years old. I was already like Breaking Bad because of all of these kids, right? By age 13, I was already doing crazy stuff with my life. And we don't even need to get into all of it, but let's just say that by age 14, where I should be entering high school, I was already starting to get locked up. and started to spend little stints in juvenile hall. And a lot of guilt by association, just hanging out with the wrong kids. As soon as I get back out, I'd hang out with them again, and I'd be more popular for having been locked up. And I started getting popularity and notoriety and fame and influence from the wrong crowd. And I fed into it going like, this feels good that they respect me, and respect and loyalty and honor. And so I just kept going after it. And I actually went to 12 high schools and got kicked out of every one and never graduated 9th grade. That's the furthest I made it in school. Even to this day, here I am in my late 30s, I've never graduated. I don't have any high school education, no college education, nothing. I've never gone past 9th grade. And so when I got into the real world and needed to like go get a job, I never had the confidence to get a job, because all these jobs needed like a resume and a job application that you graduated high school. So I always had so much insecurity over my lack of education and my lack of real world experience. All I knew was street smarts. So I struggled for years trying to figure out, you know, how I was going to even survive, how I was even going to make it, until I came across the sales industry. Commission-based sales. And I went in for a commission-based sales job, and they didn't require any resume or any application. They just said, listen, you sell, you make commission. You don't sell, you don't make money. It was that simple. And I was like, so like, there's no application, there's no high school. You're not going to judge me based on my lack of education? Right. No. Sometimes it's good for sales. So I found a calling and I got into sales, and I figured like, once I got a little taste of that, I was like, wow, I can be someone great. And then I went on this journey of personal development. I had never read a book before until I was 21 years old. When I was 21 years old is the first book I ever read in my life. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Yep.
Yeah, it was the first book I ever read in my life.
Really good start.
It was a great book.
That'll get you addicted.
Because I never even read a novel. Right. I never read a school book, a textbook. You know, when the times that they made you read books, I would just pretend like I read them in school, and instead I would be going and playing with my friends, you know? So my first book I ever read was age 21, and that book kind of changed my life. I kind of said, okay, there's a roadmap. I can go from being an employee to self-employed to a business owner to investor, and I can be financially free and escape the rat race. So I went on this journey, and I was ambitious. I thought it would happen fast, but it didn't. And I had a long ways to go. So I ended up reading like about 100 books. I spent my days in the library. In like 2 years. Okay. I would spend my days in the library. So I would catch public transportation, the bus to the local library, and I would just read books there in the library, and I would use the little computers they had there to try to like research and teach myself stuff, so I could try to get some skills. And I was learning, like, I wanted to be involved in internet and technology. So I taught myself, you know, website design, search engine optimization, all these things, all these skills, just teaching myself at the public library how to do this.
And this is in a 2-year period.
Yeah, this is in like a couple years. I don't know the exact amount of time, but I mean, it's every single day I was catching 3 buses to get to. Then I started going to the local junior college, because I realized you didn't have to be a student. You could just walk into the library and they didn't check your ID. So I started using, and then because at the library, the public library, you could only use a computer for 45 minutes. And at the junior college, I could sit on the same computer for 10 hours and no one would stop me.
So stopping you again, right? Like with the orange hat, the way you think about that, right? And that's one of the things I'm catching as I'm sitting down with more and more people like you. They will break down those things. You can easily say, I don't have the resources, or you can be resourceful, right? And you're like, all right, I got 45 minutes here. That's a resource. But that's even more resourceful. You know, if I could go over here, and you didn't have to get the internet, you could use this company's internet that's already providing it for you. You got all the information, got everything that you need. You got the 3 buses. You don't have to say, I don't have a car. I don't have the resource of a car. Okay, I could be resourceful. I could take these 3 buses and put 2 years into it. And same thing, you know, I don't have money to start a business, right? Resources. But I got the time. I can do this. I can learn this. If I could just get this out of the way, I can get there, man. You exercised all of that so well. And during that 2-year period, I know we talked about this earlier, was this the ramen years?
Yeah, this is ramen years. I had no money. I was flat broke. So I was living in a 200 square foot studio with a roommate.
I didn't even know they made them that small.
Yeah, and then the roommate just slept on the floor. And it's where it's like you got the couch, I'm on the couch, he's on the floor, and you got the little stove right there for top ramen. And the fridge is so small you couldn't even put food in there. And our strategy was this. We used coffee as a meal suppressant. So we would drink a bunch of coffee, and then it would make it so we weren't hungry all day. And then we'd come home at the end of the day just starving, and we'd eat like 3 packages of top ramen, which was only 30 cents. Right. So we had this thing down to like $1.50 a day in food. We were budgeting that tight. And then the bus would take about an hour to get to the junior college, but we could maximize our time there by spending 10 hours at the junior college. So literally every single day I was going there, and I was teaching myself website design, teaching myself SEO. And then my breakthrough happened. I still was broke, But my breakthrough happened one day when a kid came up and tapped, was sitting next to me, started talking, and he goes, why don't you just take marketing and business classes here? They teach you how to build a business like this. And I said, oh, I never graduated high school and I don't have the money to be able to afford it. And he's like, no, just go in the class and they'll let you audit the class for like the first few weeks to decide if you want to take it. So you can literally just go. It's starting up and like it started today was like the first day or whatever. You can just go.
I didn't even know you could do that.
I guess you could do it. This is back a little while ago. But so he convinced me, and this took courage, to just walk in the class as if I was a student and that they wouldn't check me and they wouldn't test me. And so I just did. I went into class, the marketing class. I went into small business marketing. I went and sat in the back of the room so I wouldn't be noticed. And I'm sitting in the back of the room and nobody checked me.
Not once did a teacher say, sir, who are you?
No.
Not once did a teacher call on you. No. Not once did a teacher ask you to bring up something. Or...
No, and I'm not in any way encouraging everybody to go, fake like you're in college.
I mean, that's kind of, here's the thing, if you can learn till you make it, right? Like,
so check out what happened. So I'm in this class and the teacher is teaching business fundamentals and marketing and blah, blah. I was actually bored, okay? And then one of the people in the class goes, hey, should I get a website for my business? And this was like the early 2000s.
And at this point, you already kind of learned how to build.
This is what I was studying all down. The person goes, should I get this true story, this is crazy. This is my breakthrough. My whole life hinges on this moment. So you got to imagine, I'm nervous, I'm sneaking in the class. The person asked the teacher, so should I get a business website for my business? The teacher goes, well, you know what? The internet is still proving itself. I don't think it's a good investment to invest in a website right now.
What year is this?
This is the early 2000s.
Okay.
2001, 2002, something like that.
Yep.
I don't know if you should get it was way past the time that it was a fad, okay? This is not a fad. And the teacher goes, so I don't think it's a good use of time to invest in a website right now. I think that you're better off with like a yellow page ad for your business. And then I just couldn't handle it. So I did the most bold, stupid thing you can do. I snuck in the class. I don't belong there. I've never even been inside of a college class before, but I raised my hand. I raised my hand in the back of the class.
To disagree with the teacher.
To disagree
in front
with the
of
teacher.
The paying students.
So she calls on me. She goes, yeah, what's your name? And I was like, uh-oh, Chris. And she goes, I don't recognize you. Okay, what's your question? And I said, well, I just have to disagree. I think that every single person in here should have a website for their business. People are going to search engines, they're searching and they're finding, they're looking for people, and the sooner you get your website online and get ranked in the search engines, the more easy people are going to find you, and then you're going to be able to get more business. And I think that it's going to replace, I started like saying all this stuff, it's going to replace Yellow Pages, this is going to be the future. And the teacher says this to me, defining life moment. She says, well, if you know so much about this, why don't you come up in front of the class and why don't you tell people your opinion about it? And I just like got nervous and I said, okay. And that was my first day public speaking ever in my life. And I got in front of the class with like 30, 40 people. Some were kids, some were like adults that were taking junior college. And I basically pitched them on why they need a website, but I didn't have any prices or anything. I pitched them on why they need a website, where the trends are going, talked about Amazon, talked about all this stuff. And then at the end of that class, when it was all said and done, 3 people came out to me at the end. Like one was like a used car salesman. The other one was like a person that was becoming like an attorney or whatever. I can't remember the other one. But like 3 people approached me and they said, can you design our websites? I'll pay you. Well, how much do you charge? And I was like, make a charge real quick. I was like, $300. And they're like, each one, I'll take one, I'll take one, I'll take one. So I made like $1,000 my first day public speaking. And from that day forward, I never even went back into that class. That was one day I ever attended a college class.
What did the teacher say afterwards? Was she in agreement now?
No,
or?
She wasn't even in agreement.
She wasn't, you didn't sell her a website.
I did not sell her a website, unfortunately, but the thing was that once I realized like I got those clients, then what I did was I realized, hey, $300, $400, $500, I can get these clients. So then I went out and got like 30 of them and I was still making okay money, but not rich yet. And then what I did was I put together a package to get all their websites ranked in Google. And oh man, I started charging like $1,000 a client. I'm in my early 20s and now I'm making like 10 grand a month, even as much as $20,000 a month. I'm no longer living in this poverty level. I got money to pay my mom's bills, my bills. I upgrade out of the studio and get into an apartment. And my life, I started making 6 figures. In fact, from that year, I've made 6 figures or higher every year of my life from there. Wow. And I finally found like my calling, which was I was attracted into the digital marketing space, internet marketing, online marketing. And I just felt like my whole calling was there my whole life. Wow. And it's even telling you right now, I don't ever even really share that story, but it's just so exciting to me because like it just shows that anybody can make it. I was food stamps, Section 8 housing, welfare, hippie parents, no resources, in and out of juvenile hall, being locked up, no friends, no education, no belief and doubt. And yet I was able to turn it around and create a multiple 6-figure, then 7-figure, then 8-figure per year business, you know, just off of hustle and drive and passion.
That's really cool, man. That's awesome. Okay, so now let's get into what everyone's tuning in for. The entrepreneur rap videos. What was the first one you did, whether it was a low budget or like what you're doing today?
Yeah.
And what made you want to do it?
So when I was going back to my teen years, when I was this troubled youth, a lot of us were into freestyle rapping. They were called rap ciphers. All of us would get together and put on a beat or whatever. Somebody would beatbox, and we would all freestyle rap and battle rap and play off of each other.
So you already
when
rapped,
when I was young.
And you just never incorporated with business until the last few years?
Never, because what I did was I gave it up. Right around when I was like 18, 19, 20, 21, I gave it up. I was like, that's the old life. And I became this businessman Chris. I started wearing a shirt and a tie and suit. I just wanted to be professional so people would take me serious. And for years and years and years, I was this businessman. And yeah, I was making money, but it wasn't really who I was. And so really a few years ago, I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna be myself. And I remember I went and did a speaking event, and I wore flip-flops and shorts and spoke. And people came up to me afterwards like, that was the greatest speech I've ever heard, oh my God. And I was like, because I was so comfortable, I was more who I was. Instead of trying to be the next Tony Robbins or whoever, I was just being Chris Record. And Chris Record was who they came to see, not Tony Robbins. So I went through this identity crisis for like 15 years, thinking I had to be the next, like a Donald Trump or an Anthony Robbins, something like that. When I didn't, I could just be myself. And so I actually did an assessment of my life, and I said, what things make me happy? What makes me happy? What would I do right now? Like if I could just do anything and money wasn't really the object, like, and I started thinking, man, I want to be youthful. I want to feel young. I want to have fun. So I made a list of things that I used to do when I was a kid. Now it had been like 20 years since I rapped. And I never was like a great rapper, but I thought, let me rap. And so we started freestyle rapping again, started hanging with our friends, and I was like, every time we would do this, we'd be so much fun. And I'm like, we feel like kids. It doesn't even feel like work, and it's so much fun. Then I thought, well, all these rappers these days are really good. There's no way I can compete with good rap. But where's the entrepreneur rap? Where is it? I couldn't find it. Every once in a while, an artist will do a song that's motivational, but you get the album, and then the rest of the album will be about like drugs and guns and disrespecting women and, you know, like especially these days, like prescription drugs and how cool they are. And
which is, like, it's funny you say that because there's a few songs out there, not entrepreneur rap, right? But just songs that are more like positive messaging, uplifting, motivating. But there's not enough to have a playlist to work out to, you know? And so when I go to the gym, I always look for a few different songs that can like get me going, but also send some positive messages throughout it. And also feel confident that the kids can listen to it, all that stuff. And there wasn't really that. And it's funny because I always thought there should be. And then I see your stuff and I'm like, this is crazy. This guy's doing it. And he's in my hometown. Back then you were in my hometown.
Both, yeah, we were neighbors. We just weren't hanging out.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So go ahead.
Oh, so basically I was just like, okay, my goal is not to be a rapper or a great rapper. I'm not going to try to fill audiences and travel and do on stages. I want to make rap that's like about the things that I actually do in my life. And I just want to do it more as like a hobby, more for fun. So I started rapping about building sales funnels and search engine optimization and digital marketing. And I started rapping about like being an entrepreneur and traveling around and building e-commerce websites. And I just had fun like rapping about all of these topics that to me, they were real. Like, look, I may have grown up as a thug, so I have a little bit of that like part of me, but on my day-to-day basis, I'm not strapped with a gun, and I'm not taking Molly and Percocet, and I'm not, turning it up at the club and coming back at 5 a.m. with like, a hot tub with 20 girls in it, and this is not who I am.
I don't think you could fit 20 girls in there.
But that's a nice tub though.
Yeah, it is a nice tub though.
But, but if anything, I was with the same girl for 15 years. We had 2 children together. I was a lot more like, I was much more into a relationship. So I was like, I'm not gonna fake it and rap about stuff that I don't do. But the stuff that I do is it felt so suburban or so white, if you will, or just so like basic. And I said, you know what though? I bet there's a lot of people that could relate to this. And I said, where's the entrepreneur rap? Where's the rap all about like the cool stuff we do every day? So I did it. I made a rap all about, called Life of an Entrepreneur. It's on YouTube. It's got like nearly 1 million views.
Let's actually show a quick clip of that.
Okay. And we don't care about the obstacles and the haters that keep saying it's impossible. All I know is that we gotta go level up our lifestyle if we love the game. Living the life the life of an entrepreneur.
Okay. All right, so what else you got?
So after that, that song was just pretty popular. It was like an anthem for entrepreneurs. Then what I did was I made a partnership deal with Shopify, the largest like e-commerce website provider. And I said, hey, I'll do a rap all about Shopify for you guys. And then I'll put a link in it. And that link can be an affiliate link, like for people to sign up for the service. And they were like, yeah, cool, that'd be fun. And I made it, and they passed it all around their headquarters. You know, at least that's what they told me. They said a lot of people really enjoyed it. I put it up on YouTube, but I also put it on Facebook. This time I ran a couple ads to it to try to get more views. And it blew up. On Facebook, it was like nearly 5 million views, hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube, and tens of thousands of clicks on that link to sign up for Shopify. And believe it or not, I mean, that generated, if I want to say conservatively, hundreds of thousands of dollars in commissions from a rap video.
Wow. Well, let's
maybe even $1 million if I added it all up.
Let's show a quick clip of that one as well.
Yeah, you know what it is. E-com power sellers do it big. Yeah, sky is the limit. I'm the CEO of Techademic. When you're online and you see us selling everything is Shopify, 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 Shopify. We got our niche store selling custom jewelry on Shopify.
All right, cool. So you did that with Shopify, which is awesome. All right, and then I saw you did one with ClickFunnels as well.
Exactly. So I said, you know what's kind of popular would be, why don't I do songs about companies that I use or companies I support or companies I like? So I went and I did one about ClickFunnels. With ClickFunnels, I did it a little bit differently. I went to Party City and I got a whole outfit of like a pimp suit. And there was a character back in the 90s. One of my friends back in the 90s was the OG, and he was always the guy. He was this white guy, but it was like OG. He had like the little, he had the, you know, he had like the grill in his mouth. He had the top hat. He had a cane. Everybody kind of just knew him as the OG. And then there's all these modern characters that it depicts. Back in the 90s, I listened to guys like Paul Wall, who had the grill in his mouth and talked kind of like that. Master P, all these old school rappers. So I created a character that was like kind of embodied all of those, that 1990s OG rap persona. And I got dressed up in that character, and I said, you know, when people act, they can take on like a different voice, a different person. So I got in this character and I took on a different voice. So I had the little Party City grills. I'm in like a $30 outfit. Most rappers are like all about the modern brands. I just had Party City, you know, with the $5 set of grills. But the voice that came out and the different thing really got me into character for that song. And I wrote and I made that song. And what people don't realize, and this is kind of a cool thing, almost all of these songs are done in one day. So I'll usually wake up in the morning, we'll go, let's do a song today. I'll write the lyrics, I'll record them in my friend's closet in like a little thing, and then we'll record the video all in one day. And then the video edit is usually no more than 2 days later. 2 days later, the final video is published. So like incredible. On a Monday, we'll write the lyrics and record them and film the video, and then like on a Wednesday or Thursday, the video will be done.
That's incredible.
So all these are speed. A lot of people don't realize that. We did like 20 music videos in 20 weeks. Wow. So we're just making them all from scratch.
And I don't know if you remember this. I think like the week after I was connected to you, I think Billie Jean connected us. And then I reached out to you and you're like, oh, here's my cell phone number. And then I went to ClickFunnels headquarters because I'm Russell Brunson's mastermind. And the Uber driver, sweet little old lady, she's like, where are you guys going? I was like, we're going to ClickFunnels. She's like, this guy was just in my car a few weeks back, and he was playing this song, and he was making us say, click, funnels, click, funnels.
Click, funnels, click, funnels.
And then she said that you guys were making like a rap video, and so I want to also cut to a quick clip of the ClickFunnels video as well.
My click, funnels, click, funnels, click. Ain't no traffic better than my high converting click, funnels, click, funnels, click. As I look online, they don't do it like my click, funnels, click, funnels, click. And all these bad marketers, they want the leads, they want the leads, they want the leads.
So this has become the thing that you have now become known for, right? Which is why you're on here. And you've got one more video I do want to show everybody because I thought it was so cool, especially the ending of it, or like that third verse, because you incorporated so many entrepreneurs that are also well-known influencers in the space. It's Entrepreneurs Got Choices. And it was a duet with you and Billy. And then at the end, it's the song where it's like, yes, no.
Nope.
And what you did was you had a bunch of random people, Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone, Cole Hatter, a bunch of guys. So let's cut to that one as well.
Can't pay your phone?
Nope.
Need a loan?
Yup.
Actually, I think you need a genius. Listen to this shit, I mean this. The biggest difference between us, well,
Let's just keep that a secret. Entrepreneurs got choices. I choose to get money, keep placing these ads. Entrepreneurs got choices. Keep it 100 just like the orange hat.
So when you first started writing that song, did you already have the video in your head as to what you were going to do? Like, did you know you were going to have Grant Cardone or like get these other entrepreneurs on?
No, so every song, you got to imagine, in order for us to crank out, so I'm running a company that's doing over $10 million per year. Right. At the time, I'm the CEO of the company, running a company, as many as 100 employees, a 25,000 square foot office, plus I'm traveling and speaking and I'm writing a book. So taking on these raps was on the side of that. You know, like a real rapper, like an authentic rapper will sit there and they'll really get into their passion and their craft and they'll spend time in it, maybe write lyrics and throw them away and write lyrics and throw them away, trying to find those good lyrics. Not me. I'll sit down and say, I've got 1 hour to write these lyrics and that's it. And that's it. And so like a song like Entrepreneurs Got Choices, I wrote that in like an hour, like just start to finish, because I'll only have an hour.
Did you write Billy's parts or did Billy write his own?
I basically wrote a 2-verse song that was designed to be able to go without Billy. And then I said, Billy, you got to make this happen, dude. So what I had to keep like pushing Billy to get his verse, pushing him because he was really busy too. Billy had never rapped in a song. He's not a rapper. Right. He had never written a rap. And so he's like, all right, I wrote one. And he's like, hey, my friend's got a studio. I'm just going to go in there and do it and I'll surprise you with the verse. Right. So I'm like, all right, just keep it like clean and entrepreneur focused, right?
It was somewhat clean. It was
well, no, that's not how the story happened. Here's a little, let's break the truth here on your show, okay? We're going to have to roast Billie Jean a little bit here. I told Billy to keep it clean. Billy went to the studio and sent me this verse, and me and my audio guy, we play it on speakerphone, and it's just riddled with curse words. And then he starts comparing his marketing skills to other marketers by the size of his genitals and how big they are compared to other marketers and stuff like that in the verse. And I was like, Billy, you do realize every song I have doesn't have a single curse word in it, and they're all family friendly, and like kids are listening to my songs. Right. And Billy's like, I'm just keeping it real, man, just keeping it real. And so anyways, if you actually listen to the song, you'll know, like, you'll watch his mouth something, and we actually go over it with other lyrics. I had my guy go and replace the last line of his song, and we just said, we'll just keep that a secret. But it was something that rhymes with secret that was genitals. So I just said, we'll just keep that a secret. And then Billie Jean was just like, all right, fine, we'll let that go. So Billy just wrote it, literally wrote it that day, went to the studio, recorded it, sent it over to me like the day before the video. Right. And then as far as planning out the video, no, we don't plan out the video. We literally we maybe spend like an hour like thinking of what we want to do while we're flying somewhere. So here's what I said. Billie Jean was speaking at my conference already. And then I was speaking at Thrive and Billie Jean was going to be there. So we said, hey, we're going to be at these 2 events together. Let's just get a bunch of footage while we're there. So part of the video is at my conference, Tech Talks. He's on stage, I'm on stage, all these people dancing around us in the background, stuff like that. And then the rest is here in Vegas at Cole Hatter's Thrive conference. And you were in the car with Billy and doing all that stuff. So you guys it looks like you guys were like partying. But what's crazy is that was not a video set. That was just my conference on break. We were on break at the conference, said, who wants to be in the music video? Gather around us and start dancing. So we don't actually plan music videos. What we do is we build our business and build our life, and we just write lyrics and make music videos on the side of that in like a few hours a week. So then when we came down to Vegas, the scene where Billie Jean raps, that's just in his suite. I basically went up to the suite, brought my film guy up and said, come on, man, can we do it? He's like, all right, well, I only have like 30 minutes. All right, let's just do it really quick. We put it on speaker. We just acted that out really quick in his hotel suite. That wasn't a set. That wasn't planned. It wasn't anything. And then the other part was also an accident. My friend has a place over at the Martin, a condo, has a nice condo at the Martin. We went over there to be interviewed just like this. I interviewed him, he interviewed me. And I'm like, man, this place is dope. My film guy's here. Can we just shoot a scene from the music video here? Well, it was so epic. The whole opening of Entrepreneurs Got Choices and everything is in this guy's condo. And that was all an accident. We didn't mean to film a music video there. It just was cool. And so the whole video looks like it's like staged and planned and everything. No, it's just, while we're in the middle of interviews, we take an extra 30 minutes and shoot a quick scene. And the other thing people don't understand is that I write the lyrics and record so fast. I'll write in the morning, I'll record in the afternoon, and I'll film the video at night. So I don't even have the lyrics memorized. There's no time to memorize the lyrics. To keep going back. So yeah, so like that's why we're cutting around so much in our music videos, is that he's making up for the fact I don't even know the words to my own songs. Wow. But that's how fast we're producing this stuff. And there's a lesson here. Speed. So there's quantity and there's quality, right? Well, when you're trying to go big in the beginning, one of the best things you could do is quantity. Okay, like if you're trying to be a YouTube star, pump out daily videos every single day, even if they're bad. Look at Gary Vee. Gary Vee's done like thousands of videos. Grant Cardone on his YouTube channel, like 4,000 or 5,000 videos. He didn't start out as the guy who has 8,000 people at his 10X conference. He started out as the guy who's like, you know, wind blowing in the background, bad microphone on an iPhone, trying to give you tips to sell cars.
Right.
And then here he is years later. It's all about consistency. So you got to just get yourself in a habit of doing things every single day. Doesn't matter what it is. Take massive action. It's about the quantity, not the quality. Everybody's so worried about quality. Don't be worried about quality. Here's what I like to do. I like to basically take, it's like the 50-50 rule. If I can spend, let's say that I want to make a music video. The majority of the good stuff in the music video could be shot and filmed in 3 hours. But I could spend another 3-4 days doing a bunch of other scenes and then another few weeks editing, and it will double the quality of the video. But that won't necessarily double the views of the video. Right. What I realized is that unless you're making like a music video for like TV, if it's just gonna go on YouTube, the average person is not gonna notice the difference of an amazing cinematographer who does an amazing scene. They're not gonna notice the difference. So I like to do it quick, take it up to about 50% as good as it could be, and then move to the next project. Because the first 50% will take a few hours. The next 50% is gonna take 20 or 30 hours.
Really?
And so I save that 20 or 30 hours by just going, hey, you know what? I'm gonna accept that this is okay. And here's what happened. People would watch our videos and go, oh my God, the quality's so high, this production value is so high. When really, go sit down with my film guy, and he's gonna say, yeah, right, Chris made me have to only edit this thing in 4 hours. I mean, if I had actual time, we could have made this thing a banger. But we didn't have time because we were making money, we were running a business.
Right.
That's what people need to do. They need to learn. Don't worry about being a perfectionist. Do the work as fast as you can, get it taken up to a notch that you're comfortable releasing it. Even though it could be way better, take that extra time and go to the next project and go to the next project. Over time, that quantity is gonna help you. Like a YouTube video. If you're doing 1 video a week on your YouTube channel, try doing 7 videos a week and watch how your YouTube channel is gonna explode a lot more than the once a week. It's gonna get to your goal faster. That's what I did with music videos. We decided we did about 20 music videos in 20 weeks. And then on top of that, we also did a daily vlog for those 20 weeks. So I'm uploading a daily vlog of my life, professionally edited, a music video every single week, running a multi-million-dollar company, managing dozens and dozens and dozens of employees, traveling the world and writing a book all at the same time. The only way to stack all of that, to have a stack of all of those different things, is to be okay with things not being perfect. And that's one of the best lessons I give to anybody right now. How many people are struggling with perfectionism? If you just let go of that a little bit and instead focus on consistently dropping a lot of content out there, you'll eventually get way further, way faster, and people will still think your stuff is better than you'll ever even,
and inevitably you'll get better anyway. You'll reach a you'll reach a level that back when you first started you thought was perfection, and now you're still always looking at the flaws.
Absolutely.
Because you just can't help but say, what if we just did this? What if we just did that? Even with our show, right? Little by little, we just kept adding more things, and this is something that's even better than what we initially would have thought was perfect on day one, right? And so, dude, you've done it. You've definitely become the GOAT of entrepreneur rap videos. And what I've really loved is that you're also starting to use your skills to get messages out there outside of entrepreneurism. In this case, the autism.
Oh yeah.
And so you mentioned to me that your son was autistic.
Yep.
And it was a difficult time for you to, I guess, you know, when you first realized that, wow, life's a little different. We have to make some adjustments. We have to make sure we can do our job as good parents here and take care of them. And along the way, I guess you started getting some respect for parents that have to go through this stuff too. So you created a rap.
I did. I created a rap. It's not even released yet. This is the next one we're going to release. And it's the story of finding out that my son had autism when he was 2 years old, extreme autism, and how the signs of how I knew. And then it's the journey of what does that mean for him, but also the battle of what does that mean for me as a parent. You know, when you're raising kids, you have a vision, like I'm going to be playing baseball with him. I'm going to teach him all the same stuff that I did. He's going to be like a shadow of my life, you know, teach him all the kind of cool stuff that I like. And then it all changed. You know, the stuff he likes is like taking his stuffed animals and stacking them all in a row in his room. And he doesn't like playing with other kids. And, you know, he has his like OCD behaviors and like lots of little things. And it's just different. And I started having, what it did is in my life, it gave me more sympathy and more empathy to other parents with special needs children. Now I kind of understand that it's already enough to raise kids. I mean, gosh, ask any parent. It's like, it's hellish sometimes raising kids. And then on top of that, you add special needs to that or some type of a physical disability or disease. and it just becomes, it's just, I have a lot of respect for them. So I figured, what if I wrote a song that shared my story, but that raised awareness for autism, and at the same time gave some props and respect to other parents of special needs children? I think that would be more meaningful than just a funny little song, you know. Like I have these other funny songs like about getting the flu, or I have funny songs about like battle rapping with my alter ego. Right. That's for fun. But this I think can have more meaning, and I really actually feel like it gives me goosebumps when I rap it. It's
okay, so would you be open to giving our audience goosebumps? And whether it's going through the whole thing, which may not be something you want to do, or a verse?
Like right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah,
the whole thing's only like 2 minutes long. I can do the whole thing.
You want to do it?
I'll do it.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so this is Autism Awareness. It's the story of my son.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Flashback, the year was 2013, with my 2-year-old son after his birthday. At the crib, in the kitchen, I was thirsty. Reached for a glass, but the shelf wasn't sturdy. Came crashing down and the glasses were bursting. Sound was so loud and alarming. The first thing I saw was my son right beside me, uncertain. My instincts told me to go check if he's hurting. I noticed that he was not moving. He was sitting there just watching his movie. All alone in the corner of the room. He was only 5 feet from the sounds and the booms. He never moved, he never reacted, never even took his eyes off his iPad. This was the first time that I realized my kid had something a little bit different. I looked him in the eyes and he looked away. He didn't look surprised when I broke a plate. He didn't recognize me or know my name. It's crazy how fast things change. I try to pick him up, but he runs away. He's in and out of fits every other day. Even simple games he don't want to play. It's crazy how fast things change. He's creative in the mind, maybe he's artistic. He's a little bit behind, maybe he just missed it. Yeah, he can't stand in line, maybe he's a misfit. Puts his toys in a line, maybe he's obsessive. Maybe he can judge his mind, maybe we can flip this. I'm ignoring all the signs, maybe I won't listen. He won't play with other kids, maybe he's just different. He won't look me in the eyes, maybe he's autistic. Man, that hits quick. Goosebumps crawl from my arms to my wrists. I fall on my palms and my knees, and I'm praying for parents of all special needs. We can rise up with our faith and belief through science and doctors and holistic means, through strength and the power of all human beings. One day we'll find a cure for the disease. Until then, we'll fill them with love unconditional. And we'll treat them like young individuals, reaching out and teaching them with all types of visuals, digital, physical. Get them on a schedule. Look. Life can seem unfair when you look them in the eyes and they're unaware. When you feel like you can't take them anywhere, it's apparent that the other parents want to look and stare. And I know it feels tough when they're hanging out with typical kids playing in rough, and a couple of the bigger kids start to shove, and your child doesn't understand this is not love, no! He just want to be alone with his stuffed animals stacked in a row, watching his favorite shows on your phone, constant repetitive actions unfold, whoa! And there's so much unknown. One day will he learn to live on his own, hold down a job and pay bills like the norm? Will he find love and then marry someone? Or will he spend his whole life at home? It's okay, son, it's why I wrote this song. Life should be fun, so I choose to stay strong. I love you, my son, I love your autism. I looked him in the eyes and he looked away. I didn't realize it would be this way. But if God has a plan, I'ma trust him, man. It's crazy how fast things change. He's improving his speech every single day. He's learning how to play and communicate, how to behave and be brave through the phase. Man, it's crazy how fast things change. There's your demo.
Man, that was awesome. That was really cool. So, guys, you just watched us spend a good amount of time with a GOAT, a guy that really knows how to use music to get messages out, whether it's for entrepreneurship, whether it's for products, services, whether it's for fun, or whether it's for something as serious as a message as autism. And I'm a big fan of you and what you've done. I'd be lying to you if I said that I haven't played your music in my car while driving, because it's cool and it's interesting. And dude, thank you so much for sharing everything. No Even the stuff that I don't think you share with other people.
Yeah. I'm glad to be out here. And if there's any message, it's just like, if a guy like me, born in a teepee in the middle of the woods and get locked up in juvenile hall, dropped out of high school, never even graduated 9th grade, can turn his life around, find some passion and some purpose, and be able to generate millions and millions of dollars while helping others at the same time. If that's possible, what's your excuse? Just go out there, take massive action, and make it happen.
Awesome, man. Where can people learn more about you?
LifePreneur. The company's called LifePreneur. We're redefining the word entrepreneur. You can look us up. And also Chris Record like a record breaker, like a record setter with the orange hat. You can catch me on Facebook, Insta, Snap, YouTube.
You got it. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we will see you next week. Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcasts on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever your favorite place to listen to podcasts might be. And if you really like this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.